And KCAU 9 News reporter Travis Chin has been out in various communities today dealing with all the flooding this afternoon. We catch up with him now in Spencer, Iowa. Right now, Travis, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Sophie, it literally just got done raining here in Spencer, so just what they need, more rain up here in the Iowa Great Lakes region. But earlier today, I started my day actually in Rock Valley, Iowa. While I was in Rock Valley, I got a chance to go out on Highway 18 just west of Rock Valley, and Highway 18 was actually completely flooded out. And while I was shooting video, I did see a couple people try to go around the barriers and tempt fate and try to go. I looked like they were going to try to go across the water. Luckily, cooler heads prevailed. They did not try because the water was pretty deep and it was going pretty fast. Next after that, I got up to Alvord, Iowa, where there was a train derailment. Now, I wasn't able to get very close, but it looked like from where I was at, there was water surrounding the derailed train. There were a lot of workers out there working on it, trying to get it out. But the train did derail, and it was laying in water. So I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but it looked like that it was caused from the floodwaters of the river that goes right next to it. Next after that, I did head up to Rock Rapids. Had a chance to speak to some people that were filling some sandbags. Also had a chance to speak to a few business owners that are right by the river up there in Rock Rapids. And they are very concerned. If the river does crest tonight, the businesses that are right by the river are probably going to get flooded, and that's going to cause a lot of damage for them. Now, if you look behind me, you'd probably think I was in Okoboji and these are one of the Iowa Great Lakes. It's not. This is the Little Sioux River here in Spencer, and it has been out of its banks pretty much for most of the last week. And also, you can't see, but behind me to the west, it is getting very dark, so it looks like that we are going to get a lot more rain coming in. Hopefully not. This area does not need it, but it looks like we do have some more rain coming in. So, Sophie, I'm going to send it back to you down in beautiful Sioux City in the studio there.
All right, thanks, Travis. And you are correct. It does appear on radar some more rain, and we will check back with you again there at 6. All that flooding has caused some drivers to get stuck while out on the road. The Clay County Sheriff's Office tonight says they responded to a vehicle that went into a ditch and started filling up with water on the 23,000-mile marker of 300th Street. That's just north of Spencer, where we just spoke with Travis. Authorities say 2 people went into the water there, smashed the rear window, and got the driver out. Now, the officer says that the driver tried to cross the flooded road and began to hydroplane quickly, losing control of that vehicle, which is why we want to remind our viewers, turn around, don't drown. There is also some bad flooding conditions in South Dakota tonight. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office posting these photos to their Facebook page this afternoon. Many roads in the county are underwater. Deputies and local fire departments have responded to a number of stranded drivers out on the road. Accidents and rescues early this morning as well. The Lincoln County Highway Department and local city street departments are placing barricades out and checking road conditions every hour. Sandbagging, as you can see, well underway since last night. Many streets tonight do look like rivers across the Rushmore State, and unfortunately more rain is in their forecast. The town of Akron preparing for potential flooding as well tonight, with residents there getting together some sandbags for the community. With river levels expecting to crest up to 24.5 feet, the town is blocking off Highway 48 to keep water from running into Akron.
If we stay under the 25-foot mark, we're pretty well prepared. If we hit the 25-foot mark and go higher, we'll have to make some different plans. But as of right now, I think we're in good shape.
With a couple dozen people out helping there today, organizers tell us they are hoping more residents will volunteer in the coming days. They have put out a post asking for help on their Facebook page. And with the Big Sioux River rising 24 feet, residents are getting their town ready by preparing sandbags as well. The mayor of Hawarden sent out a Facebook page reminder to all residents to please help as much as they can. The mayor also pointing out that for people in the lower parts of Hawarden, they will be taken care of if there are any damages to their homes. Meanwhile, the National Weather Service is giving out a few tips on how to stay safe during floods. When flooding does occur in your community, they recommend you get to higher ground immediately and evacuate those areas that could flood in the future. That includes dips, low spots, and normally dry washes. Now, avoid roads that are flooded completely. Officials say if you do drive into what appears to be a washed out road, they just recommend immediately turning around. Don't drown. To find the latest information on flooding conditions in your community, along with damages and other information, you can find it all on our website right now, along with the latest weather conditions at SiouxlandProud.com. Good evening, and thanks for joining us on your Friday night. I'm Sophie Erber. We begin our news coverage tonight with an evacuation order just issued for residents in parts of Rock Valley this evening. City officials sending out the order just before 9 p.m. It's our top story now at 10. And again, this is for just parts of Rock Valley, certain streets. We will get to that map in just a moment. The mayor tonight telling residents to gather their family, pack essential items like money, diapers, clothing, and medicine, turn off appliances, lock their homes, and leave immediately. Now, if you don't have a friend or relative's home to go to outside the evacuation area, you can shelter at the Faith Reformed Church. That's at 1305 7th Street. If you don't have transportation, you can call 712-737-3307 for a ride. And a reminder, anyone that refuses to evacuate during this time will need to sign a refusal agreement. And here is that map of the evacuation zone. If you're in red, you are asked to leave as soon as possible. Homes along 12th Street, 10th Avenue, 17th, 18th, and 19th Streets, along with 20th Street, 15th Avenue, and the northern half of Main Street, all highlighted there. You are under an evacuation order tonight. This map is also on our website. That's at SiouxlandProud.com.
I need all the sandbags to go to Avenue D, Memorial Park West.
First responders, community leaders, and volunteers came together to help prepare sandbags to help fight the incoming floodwaters. With waters rising, parts of the town have already had to be evacuated. We spoke with a city council member on the impact the town may face.
Right now, we're very concerned about all of our municipal utilities because the city has, water, sewer, electric, gas, phone, cable, internet, and the sewer plant is very concerning. We need water for the public. We will analyze all those areas that have flooded and see where we can improve it.
Now, we also spoke with the mayor, and he says that the help from the residents and those from outside of Hawarden has been greatly appreciated.
It's amazing. That's what Hawarden is about. When we have a problem or an issue that needs some help, we get a lot of help. Not only in Hawarden, but we have people from other communities that are coming to assist us also, from communities that are having their own flooding problems. So we really appreciate that.
City officials say they are expecting power outages as the water levels impact electricity.
Well, Siouxland saw extreme flooding on Friday, and that issue persisted overnight. Now a rail bridge over the Big Sioux River has partially collapsed. Our top story this Monday morning. Authorities say the rail bridge in between North Sioux City and the Sioux City Riverside neighborhood broke late last night. The bridge is above the flooding Big Sioux River. Kcau 9 reached out to the Union County Emergency Manager. He told us the rail bridge is a truss bridge and some of the trusses have fallen. This is a developing story and we'll bring you updates as soon as they come in, both on air and online at SiouxlandProud.com.
That's right, Tim. Thank you. Yes, we were driving down by the Missouri, as you just mentioned. We will show you some more of that later on our KCAU 9 News at 10. But as you can see right here behind me, it is the Big Sioux. I am on the scene of just yesterday. This was a construction site. Essentially, a company out of North Sioux was putting, more stone there in the water to try and divert the water away from these homes right here on the South Dakota side of the Big Sioux. And joining me now is Ty Detmer. He was one of the gentlemen who was here on scene yesterday. His company was ready to assist, and we just wanted to get a first-hand perspective for you viewers at home, the efforts that were going on all across Siouxland to try and shore up these waterways. Ty, thanks for joining us. Tell our viewers what was going on here yesterday.
So we had a couple of things go down here. Big shout out to RP Construction for handling the levee here with the riprap that they put in. We had observed them. I mean, they put in a couple hundred loads of riprap to alleviate some of the underminement that was kind of going down as far as the water swirling back around and trying to tear into the levee that was, that's here now, and then constantly monitoring the water till about 5:30 in the morning. last night. So
Yeah, so 5:30 this morning. It's been a long night for everybody here on the scene. Though it is clear now those trucks are gone, but we are told they are on their way potentially with some more loads of that to continue to short things up. And just in your opinion, based on what you've seen, how are things holding up here on the South Dakota side?
they're holding up great from what I can see. I haven't heard anything from anyone yet, so we're kind of on the second line of defense for everybody. So if they need us, we're ready to go. So yeah, pump stations 1 and 2, they're surrounded. No problems there from what I've heard, and yeah, they're doing a great job. Travis is a really good advisor for everybody over there at RP, and all the boys over there at BarCon, everybody kind of joining together and making this work, because this is a really complicated situation to deal with. From my perspective, these guys made it look really easy. So yeah, just a great experience, and just trying to keep everybody safe over here. So.
All right, thank you for your work, Tyler. We'll let you get some rest.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us here today. And as he mentioned, it's very hard to predict where the water will go, but that is what these engineers do in these situations. We will send it back to you in the studio there, Tim. For now, reporting live in Dakota Dunes, Sophie Erber for KCAU 9. Tim? The waiting game continues tonight for thousands of Siouxlanders caught in the middle of record flooding.
For the first time tonight, we're getting an eyewitness account of the first moments when water from the Big Sioux River came pouring into McCook Lake, South Dakota. Details in our top story tonight at 10. The Lindsay family lives along North Shore Drive on McCook Lake, where the most devastating damage is visible. North Sioux fire officials estimate over 100 homes have been hit by water, roughly 25 houses destroyed after that water from the Big Sioux River rushed across North Shore Drive, down an embankment and into McCook Lake. The Lindsays tell us the water came so quickly, it was hard to prepare for what was happening.
I don't think we even expected what we were getting. It just kept coming.
There's a boat actually stuck out on the lake, and I hadn't pulled my boat off the lake yet. So I jumped in the boat quick, went and helped them because I had heard them yell really loud. Well, all that water had rushed in initially and blew a couple of the retaining walls out. And that's when it started.
Justin and Angie remained sheltered at home last night and survived that torrent of water. After packing a few bags, the couple was able to leave the property late today. Others not as fortunate. Justin telling us emergency personnel remain active in their neighborhood.
They've actually rescued several people that were stranded. There's a couple houses, just 3 houses down from us, that the road actually collapsed on both sides. The guy couldn't get out, so they actually search and rescue team got him out through the boat. And
a reminder that the Tyson Event Center in Sioux City continues to provide shelter, food, and emergency needs for anyone needing a place to stay. That includes your pets.
It has been 4 days now since that catastrophic flooding devastated McCook Lake in the North Sioux City community. Residents there tonight still frustrated, waiting to get back to their property. Earlier today, homeowners and city officials came together to discuss that situation. KCAU 9 reporter Tyler Euchner was at that meeting. He joins us tonight, not far from where much of that damage exists. Good evening, Tyler.
Thanks, Tim. Like you said, I'm right here in McCook Lake, and according to the North Sioux City Fire Chief, at least an estimated 100 homes have been flooded. And if you look directly behind me, right there is one of 25 homes that have been destroyed because of the flooding. And now, I've been here for a little while, and I've seen a few construction vehicles actually go past the barricades that have been there for a while now. And gotta say, there's a lot actually starting to happen. And also, something else that has happened today, as you were talking about earlier, is today some residents actually met about almost a mile away from here to kind of talk to officials and find out a little bit more about what comes next.
It's just complete gutted with valleys and holes and deep holes. The road is gone. There is no road. It's just an open pit.
Julie Burhoop was one of many homeowners affected on McCook Lake. She says the damage is overwhelming.
I didn't live on North Shore, but I have property on North Shore, and my husband was there at the time. He was mowing lawn Sunday afternoon, and his truck is still there. We're just so glad that nobody got hurt, but so many people lost so much.
Burhoop, along with several other McCook residents, gathered at the North Sioux City Community Center this morning, hoping to get some answers about what comes next. The chief of police spoke with the group, telling them there is a plan in place to help them retrieve their valuables.
Go through a credential system, where you're actually going to prove that you do own property there. You'll get an ID. Once you get that ID, there'll be members throughout the community that are going to help. They'll try to get people to their residences. If it's allowed, that is deemed safe, we're going to take them to that residence, give them approximately a half an hour to get their most valuable personal items out of that residence, and then we're going to work with the next people to get them to their residence.
Homeowners saying while they're happy to get an update, it's upsetting how long it took to have this conversation.
It's been a really tough process to get any information from the water coming to when the water was crossing the interstate to people having to evacuate and things like that. It's just been a really hard process and very little communication. So it's been a hard couple of days.
I apologize for the lack of communication. It's getting better. I was going to say is we can work on it and try to get people better communication so they're aware of what's going to happen, when it's going to take place.
Now, Chief Headed told me they plan to bring in some of the folks that lived here today through Saturday. And I've already started to see many people actually start to go in past the barricades and even grab some of their stuff. But if you're one of the very few people that hasn't been able to go through yet, we'll have more information on our website, SiouxlandProud.com. But for now, live from McCook Lake, Tyler Euchner, KCAU 9 News.
It's been 2 weeks now since the Big Sioux River flooded communities up and down along the banks of the river, and residents of Hawarden tonight working hard to get things cleaned up after that big mess.
KCAU 9 News reporter Alyssa Tatch went to Hawarden this afternoon to assess the recovery efforts there. It's our top story at 6. Alyssa?
Thanks, Tim and Sophie. It has been a chaotic couple of weeks for the city of Hawarden, but officials are keeping their heads up as cleanup continues throughout the community.
It's starting to show signs that we're getting close to the end, but every day there seems to be more of it showing up.
Now that the floodwaters have receded, Hawarden is in the process of cleaning up the piles of items cleaned out of residents' homes.
It was shocking visibly to go through town and see all the piles of things that have been destroyed. Even once you pick up a pile from a house, there might be another pile there in another day or two. So the cleanup will continue as long as it's needed.
With 35 displaced residents lodging at West Sioux High School, the city recognizes the other issues that await after cleanup is finished.
We've been involved so heavily in just crisis management up to this point, but we need to sit down and start talking about relocating assets, relocating homes. We really haven't had that discussion at this point, but we'll need to in the near future.
Looking at long-term solutions, the city is focusing on ways to keep folks in Hawarden.
We want to do everything in our power to find ways to assist them in getting back to a normal life at some point. We don't want to lose one resident over this. We want to make sure that they have the ability to stay in the community and continue to live here, and the kids continue to go to school here.
But throughout the chaos, the community has already proven why Hawarden is a special place to be.
People have been bringing food, offering lodging. It's been amazing to see the city come together, and that's what we expected would happen, but because that's what Hawarden does.
City officials predict curb pile cleanup to be finished by the end of next week. Alyssa Tatch, KCAU 9 News.
Disaster relief organizations have been out with flood impact victims in the tri-state area since that flooding happened. FEMA officials now say they're doing damage assessments in McCook Lake specifically to try and collect more information on just how much destruction that flooding caused. Officials add that once that's done, they move forward on what to do next. They're asking flood impacted victims to register for disaster assistance. If people cannot go to the recovery center, FEMA has a team going door to door, but they can also apply online.
We have 2 disaster recovery centers open right now in Rock Valley and also in Spencer. We do have some more disaster recovery centers coming up soon, and we'll try to put the locations in all of the hardest hit areas so that people will have a chance to talk to somebody.
If you do want to apply for FEMA assistance, you can go to disasterassistance.gov, or you can call the number on your screen, 1-800-621-3362.